Hello, hello, my lovely guardians. All right, so we are facing a Shaco in the. Excuse me. All right, talisman, potion, trinket. And we're going Ornn in the jungle. And what's so fantastic about going Ornn in the jungle? He's awesome in the jungle. You can build items, you never have to leave the jungle, which is awesome. Just keep farming and farming. So what the Shaco is going to do is try to get his lanes fed as quickly as possible, because he spikes in the early game, and he most definitely spikes in the early game when he takes Ignite. Let's see, so later on we'll be making, when we get our level 6 is when we should be really helping our team out, because that will be like a sort of a turning point. Although they do have Thresh, which is going to be late game scariness. So they have a pretty good team comp. And Zed should be able to, or he should, or at least how it works with him, he should dominate the early game.
The last time I ate a plant was never.
But yeah, Zed should dominate the early game.
I will make it also a seed, possibly a spoon.
Alright, I'm gonna need some help. Now I'm just gonna chill here for a bit, because Shaco has Ignite. I can't start this. So as long as he just keeps waiting around, then I'm fine with it. Alright, that's fine. Say thank you to the Zed. I'm looking at 410 damage. Alright, nice. So we foiled the Shaco's attempts to undermine our situation, but just a little bit of patience and knowing how the matchup goes. Because he can't, he's not the one who can wait around. Okay, so I'm level 3. I think I can go for a play down here. If I can. Gotcha, buddy. All right, little excitement in the. Alright, so we need to, Need to be careful here because we have to back because of the Shaco. He knows I'm low. He's just gonna vanish. Yeah, I'm just gonna head back. Just knowing that matchup, man. Gonna get that item. Gonna get that item, and we're gonna head towards over here. So it looks like Zed isn't influencing his lane too much. Now, because the way the Shaco likes the path, we'll have to ward accordingly.
Fuel for the old hostile.
We don't have to worry about Galio, because he is solid. Now we will attempt to try to... That's actually pretty nice. Let's see if I can steal this. Alright, there's Shaco. He's actually forgetting all about his blue here. Alright, so I'm looking at 410. Looks like I'm gonna come away with it. Nice. Okay, there's nothing I can do to try to get him. Oh, buddies. All right. So the Zed, he's gonna continue having a... Yeah, there's Shaco, so I'm safe up here. Don't have to worry about him disrupting things. Alright, looking at 410. Alright, farming up pretty nicely. Now we have our ultimate. This is the time when we think about influencing a lane. I think bot lane is going to be the lane that we influence. Alright, so we're going to get that, and we're going to get boots. That. Okay. Okay, so we're going to try to influence... Throw this ward right here. Okay. Shaco got that. Okay. Alright. I kind of messed that up. That's alright.
The other gods don't understand me. Good.
Alright, we're gonna make our Cinder Hulk here. Alright, nice. What we have to start watching out for is when the turrets start going down. But yeah, with guys still having a tough time. Oh yeah, it's the early game, Jarvan. So now we got bot lane here. The bot lane is going under here. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. This is what a Shaco needs to do. They have to push for the They have to push for the early game. So opening up certain avenues is key for them. Gonna get rid of this ward.
Broke it real good.
Never heard him say that. All right, so this is definitely going to be a this is going to be a difficult game. We're going to grab that. We're going to grab that. Get out. I have a feeling that the Zed does not know what to do in this situation. Like, there's... That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Nice. Alright, so let's see. They're mostly AD, so that's how we're gonna build. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I actually got him. Oh, that was the sniperino right there. Alright, gonna award that. That was an all-time. That was not an all-time important thing there. But all right. So what are we gonna get here? Definitely boots. We're gonna head back. We're on the other side of the map here. We're gonna build Knight's Vow next. Get on out there. That was pretty good to survive. Now we're kind of concerned with right. Okay, Janna. Okay, we're just kind of assessing things. We're not really wanting to engage here. Okay. Alright, we're gonna build this item. Alright, so we're kind of just concerned with the... concerned with the Ash here.
It is childish to favor one tool over another.
Alright, we're just gonna prevent them from doing that. Just gonna keep Thresh busy. Not gonna get hooked there. Okay, they're being nice and sneaky. We're all kind of paying attention to this area here. Let's see if I can reach him. Okay, so Ash, for the most part, was not in the fight. Ash was not in the entire... Alright, so we're gonna get this. Not if you understand the match. Throw a little ward over here. The ward's gonna be back here. There's a certain amount I'll concede to, like, Ash does make sort of a good point. Alright, so we're getting there. We need to protect our Ash, though. We need to protect our Ash! All right, we're gonna make our item here. Gonna put it on her. Now we'll be able to move quickly here. Oh, nice shot. Alright, that's fine. Pretty sure that they can't defend this. Alright. They are a little too powerful still for us. I am not sure why we did so poorly in the fight. Alright, so we're gonna grab... I am not sure the item difference is so much that we can't put up a better team fight.
I do not need company. Only war without company.
Okay, we're just here to protect Ash, pretty much. I'm gonna throw a ward over here. Thrush is clearing that out, but the rest of their team is going to be at the dragon. Deanna's just going to be chilling. I would assume they would go after blue here. I just gotta protect the Ash here. Alright, not too bad. They killed the Ash pretty quickly though. Jarvan right now has a lot of damage. But yeah, so it is true that they have just so much damage right now. The Jarvan mostly. Yeah, he's got... That's how powerful that item is. Ugh. Alright, I couldn't get to it. Yeah, I tried. Jarvan got in the way. J4 is causing most of the problems. I might have gotten in there. But first of all, like, I charged and hit the wall. Secondly, the Jarvan got in my face. The Galio has some decent farm, but we're behind so much that it makes things particularly difficult. But yeah, they just do so much damage right now. I'm gonna try to keep our Ashe alive, but the way that Jarvan just gets in there, man. Surprised I haven't gotten my blue yet. Alright. Galio should be dead. Yeah, Galio's dead. He was fighting too far off on his own. Okay, but oh wait, I didn't notice it, but we got the Baron somehow. What? It wasn't me. How did we get the Baron?
Backbreaking labor is life's greatest pleasure.
Okay. Fresh.
The architecture here is not wholly terrible.
Huh. Nice try, buddy. Hey, alright. There we go. Alright, we're gonna build this so we can deal with some of that onslaught damage that Jarvan likes to cause. Oh. Redemption should be nice too. Wonder what item. Okay, what items build redemption here? I don't want to build that. We're gonna get rid of this. Sell this. Then, well, actually, yeah, I would like to get redemption.
All I need is myself.
But we'll start off on the redemption. It's a little more complex to use the redemption, but hello, what is this? Not sure what's going on here. I don't know what Galio is doing. Galio, what are you doing, man? Okay, that was a throw from the Galio. You are getting reported. Everyone saw that. Right. Okay. So Galio's getting reported. He lost touch with things. We'll give this to Janna, I think. Yeah, because he's not gonna do too much later in the game. And he failed to do anything early. So bot lane was all we had. Mid Zed didn't do well enough. And the Galio who scales late game gave up in the late game. Everyone reports Galio. He was intentionally feeding. So this guy is going to get his intentional feeding. This player who took a late game champion while in the late game gave up. He intentionally fed, or he intentionally not fed, he intentionally lost the game because of yeah. No, we're not gonna say because. He intentionally lost. He didn't lose the game. He intentionally died to the enemy. Players like this show disrespect for their teammates. Thank you, Riot, for punishing people who don't respect others. Bam! Alright, so let's do a little itemization here. My performance was not very good, but Ornn's kit is a little clunky. I've always said that, and it takes kind of like it takes definitely some practice and special care to work with him. Other than that, like some of his pros, like he can build his items and he doesn't have to leave the jungle, things like that. I think you still have to buy boots, but so I would have gone for all these support items that would have helped Ashe. Knight's Vow, you got Locket the Iron Solari. Locket was to protect against Orianna. She does a cone overall attack. And then Ezreal, he was also he actually doesn't have, I think he's yeah, he's missing his power spike. Yeah. They won, they dominated so early that he misses his power spike, but 13, 2, and 3. That's not bad. So our bot lane was having some trouble. If I look at what's going on with Ashe's build, she doesn't have IE, so there's a bit of damage missing from her build. She's got Last Whisper, but you would want to, you would do, well, I mean, Last Whisper was most likely for the Jarvan. The Jarvan was really doing work as far as positioning himself and dominating top lane. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So as far as itemization is concerned, I just went supportive items, and I would have continued going supportive items to, you know, have Ashe continue to survive. But with Jarvan throwing himself in such close quarters, I think that really put Ashe like in a difficult situation because she just couldn't get out of it. But then again, like Jarvan has so much reach, you kind of have to stay as far back as possible. But how do you do that? Ashe's kit doesn't really do that. Like Tristana's kit works better because you can leap out of situations. I forget who had first pick, but if Tristana was a pick, then they would have been able to get out of his little hole there. But yeah, this was an excellent pick by him, and he's not only building smart. He built Titanic Hydra because it just has it's a massive amount of damage, and whenever you cause a massive amount of damage to anybody, you trigger sort of like the flight mechanism of people. They say, "Oh, my HP is low, I'm gonna run." So when you trigger that, you're advantageous to. It's advantageous of you to for the enemy to take advantage. Sort of like Blitzkrieg or something. It happens so fast that you can't respond to it quickly. You're psychologically defeated. And that's what happened to Galio at the end. He was psychologically defeated. But what's funny is Galio is a late game champion, and if you don't know the top lane matchup, that you don't know how to farm properly or something like that. The Jarvan knew the matchup. I watched their top lane over and over again, getting into combat, and I guess maybe he was hoping for a gank or something, but that's just not how that lane's gonna play out. Galio is not gonna do a whole lot of damage. He's late game champion, and he just he could have. I mean, it's hard for me to say what other people are doing because I'm just trying to do my job, but I just wonder how much in terms of mistakes that he did previously because of his attitude that I relate to later in the game where he just gave up. Anybody who has the attitude that at any point in the game that they're going to give up, they're not going to play their best game, no matter what. So if they had a difficult lane and they don't know how to get past that psychologically, realize that I am good, but I'm good later in game. I know Shaco went top, and Shaco, but yeah, Shaco played well. He does what Shaco does. So yeah, support items. So to protect the Ashe, that's pretty much the only viable situation I could see to win the game, to do anything. The Galio actually went Iceborne Gauntlet. He also went Abyssal Mask, and I'm not sure why he's gone Abyssal Mask when he should have concentrated on stuff for the Jarvan. This Iceborne Gauntlet is going to do a short burst of damage, but it's not going to beat out Jarvan's burst of damage. So I'm thinking that Galio is not completely familiar with the champion or matchups there too. So he's kind of building like what has worked for him in the past. And this is definitely not suited for this game. Like he needed to have like armor and health. That's what he needed to have. I mean, maybe nearby enemy damage take 10% more magic damage. Yeah, this is more of an offensive build. This is also more of an offensive build. You might be able to get away with this later on when, you know, the late game pops around, but I think you should build total tank. You should be building total tank. Forget all this like hybrid of offensive and defensive. He should have been total tank, because look at his numbers. His KDA shows that he just doesn't know how to deal with the champ. Maybe in some cases he does, and these items work out, but they don't do enough burst damage to deal with Jarvan on his own. So he just needs to be super tanky is all. So yeah, so big itemization issues with the Galio. Not to mention the fact that he intentionally intentionally died, which didn't give the rest of our team very much credence to continue trying to win, because that entire time he was joking around with them, he got me involved within it, because I'm like, what are you doing, man? And so then he just ulted out to get out like a fool. So I was thinking, you know, we need to get top, but what is Galio doing? And Galio was he's just losing his mind in the game. And the Zed, like I said before, he did not impact the mid game, the early to mid game as you should, because Orianna is supposed to be late game, and Zed is supposed to be more early to mid game. That's when he spikes, early to mid. But then he's definitely gonna fall off. He's gonna fall off in two ways, because he's less useful in team fights because he's an assassination champ, and he's meant to be played in the early to mid. So if he doesn't get going then, he's gonna have a hard time being useful later on. Then we have the Janna, which she's got an Argent Sensor. You got your Talisman of Ascension. I think this is a mistake. She should have gone for something a little more health or defensively. But yeah, there's some item mistakes right there. Boots of Lucidity, I guess that's okay. So you can frequently CC people, frequently give shields. But I think she should have got some more survivability. The Talisman Ascension is just more, I look at it more as an offensive item, especially with Jarvan having the ability to Cataclysm, make that hole around Ashe so she can't get out. This is not going to help you. Then finally Ashe, itemization issue. She didn't go for a Infinity Edge. I think Essence Reaver is okay to start, but I think concentrating, like, instead of Runons, I would have gone Infinity Edge, because she needed to do more damage, and Runon's Hurricane is going to help, but it's going to help later in game. She should be using items that do more damage on one target rather than something like Runaan's Hurricane, which is targeting multiple minions or champions. Great farming item, but I think she should have gone with IE. After IE, you can get Last Whisper, and it's kind of hard to get out of those Jarvan things with that. You'd have to wait for your flash or something, but so itemizations across the board here. So there's some major misunderstandings as to how to build items with our team. The Orianna on their team looks like she went more like Nomicon for the cooldown reduction and the mana and all that stuff, which is perfectly fine for the first item, because you would want your cooldowns to be down ASAP so you can do, you know, fancy tricks and pull in people with your ultimate. She went with Zanya's Hourglasses, which is a great item. Maybe she didn't feel entirely confident versus the Zed, but this is going to give her survivability, and it's going to give you that ability to do lots of damage. And I'm not sure what she's building into the Sheen right here. I don't think this is necessary. Sheen is not, I don't feel like Sheen is one of those items that Orianna really needs. Just needs like solid AP items. So that's a bit of a mistake, but she's allowed to make mistakes because they do so much damage, or they're ahead rather. The Ezreal, he's got Boots of Lucidity, he's got Trinity Force, so he does not do that much damage. He's based his stuff on a little more, you know, more towards survivability, and he's only now building, you know, IE items. But maybe that's something that Ezreal builds, you know, regardless. Maybe that's how a smart player builds Ezreal. I'm not, you know, because it seems pretty critical to talk about Ezreal when I don't play him, and he got a pretty decent KDA. So this could be a pretty viable build with Ezreal. Shaco, I think Shaco did well, not especially great. The farm is lacking, but so is my farm. He did what he was supposed to. He's supposed to knock down the turrets at ASAP with his abilities. He was getting dragons. So he was putting in the work. So he did good, and he got his laners ahead, and that's what you want to do with Shaco. You don't want to rack up the kills. You don't want to rack up the gold on you. You want to get your teammates ahead. All right, so finally we've got the Jarvan, which is, he just dominated his lane. Every time I looked up top lane, it looked like our top laner was just having the toughest time and not being able to come back from it. And it's because of the Titanic Hydra build. He's gonna get every attack, he's gonna gain so much health back. So every time Galio tries to trade with Jarvan, he's gonna outdamage him. If he does cause any kind of damage to Jarvan, then he can just heal it back up, and that's sort of the problem with that matchup. And he's even, I mean, he's built to do damage. He's built to do lots of damage, and he's even got a support item, which is great. It's saying that he's not going overboard with he knows how to build this champion. He's not going overboard with the offense. And finally, we have the Thresh, who's building into Thornmail, who's building a Frozen Heart, who's got an offensive item. In this case, offensive is great. The Frozen Heart would have slowed down everyone's attacks, so Ashe and other people that rely on auto attacks can't nearly do enough damage. And so their team, as opposed to our team, really knew items better. There's a problem here and there, but for the most part, they have clarity with their items, and that was one of the reasons why it might have been one of the reasons why I was kind of baffled with how some of those team fights were going. But I think Ashe was correct that we shouldn't have been fighting, and I didn't see that. I was just a bit too optimistic. But I guess the way that I feel about it is a lot of things can go wrong with team fights, but they weren't making any of those mistakes. And And I should take that into account when people are behind, that we really should not try to force a fight. And but at that point, I should have took a little picture in my mind of what the situation looked like. But I guess what was happening was top tower, for the most part, was really getting roughed up. And then Zed was maybe going even, but he is not late game, so he needs to dominate the early game. So I guess when you have one lane that is doing poor and another lane that's supposed to dominate early and they're not, you know. So I think at that point you need to say that we can't fight because they're going to whip us every time. So yeah, just getting the sense of how you're going to do in certain fights is difficult, but I don't like, our team was really like really kerfuzzled, or they were confused because their item build is just all over the place. It looks like some of these items are just built because they were used to building it. They're not used to like building specifically for a certain situation because the situation changes a little bit. You could but yeah. All right, guys, this is Arch. Hopefully next game we'll have a win, and I will see you guys next time. Hi-yo. Well, I need to let me get the hand over. Hi-yo. Later, guys.